This is Mark Washington from Making the Cut with your Notre Dame Florida State preview. The Irish come into tonight's game anywhere between a 6.5 point and 7.5 point favorites tonight, depending on where you want to grab that line. And obviously, the first question for Notre Dame will be at quarterback. Jack Cohn replaces Ian Book. You know, that's one of the things about college football is sometimes you get too comfortable with having a quarterback there for a while and successful, and you get so used to him and get so comfortable with him. Now it's a replacement situation from a transfer from Wisconsin who has not been in the system. So it certainly has been an important time for him leading up to the Florida State game. And what can he do? You know, how similar is Wisconsin systems to Notre Dame's, the terminologies, the reads, the play calling, how Tommy Rees will call tonight's game. So those are all big questions for them. But the one thing Cone will have is he'll have Kyron Williams in the backfield. Williams last year proved that he could be an every down back. He explosive plays. If you need 3 yards and just get in the hole and lower those pads and get those tough 3 yards for a first down to continue a drive, catch it out the backfield. Kyron Williams has done all those things and has shown the Notre Dame coaching staff that he can do all of those things. So that will help Cone. But remember now, Florida State knows that too. And you should expect for the Seminoles to pack the box tonight and to really make Notre Dame and Cone put the ball in the air and take away that grind them out running game. Cone also has a second friend outside of Kyron Williams, and that will be Michael Myers. He's one of the best tight ends, both catching passes and blocking in the country. And Notre Dame has become, in a sense, tight end U. If there's something that's really underrated about Notre Dame is how they are churning out tight ends along with offensive linemen and guys on the defensive side. But Michael Myers also could play big. He can get in those Florida State linebackers, get to the safety level. I know they have some speed back there as Florida State continues to reload, but Myers' size, his catching ability, he's going to be a factor tonight. Also, the wide receiver position has been in question all off season for Notre Dame, and this plays into their red zone struggles last year. You know, last year Notre Dame was one of the worst teams in the country among Division I schools in scoring in the red zone. But Kevin Austin needs to take that bigger step. He's 6'2", he's a big receiver, and you can use him, you know, outside the red zone. So obviously, you know, on slants, jump balls up the sidelines, right outside the numbers, those type of things where Notre Dame needs, you know, a field flipping play. And so he has to be able to make plays. Notre Dame really lacked, to me, stretching the field enough last year. And then when they play teams like Alabama and the second time they play Clemson and they play teams like that, because they don't get field flipping plays, the games end up going the way that they end up going, and we don't need to rehash that. Also, out on the in the wide receivers, Avery Davis, Brady Lindsey, two guys who, again, going to have to make some plays this season for the Irish on offense to get them back to the college football playoffs. You know, Jack Cohn isn't the only new guy here at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman makes his Notre Dame debut as defensive coordinator for the Irish, taking over for Clark Lee, who took the Vanderbilt job. Look, Freeman is stepping into some big shoes. He chose Notre Dame over LSU, but he was very impressive at his last stop there at Cincinnati. Last year, they were third in interceptions, 8th in scoring defense, 10th in takeaways, 14th in rushing defense. Those are all impressive numbers that could also help the offense, because what could end up happening is the defense can make those field flipping plays and put the offense in a good position. And they'll have some challenges tonight dealing with Jordan Davis and Mackenzie Milton from Florida State. So, you know, the outlook for tonight's game as the Irish kick off at 7:30 tonight is starts with Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees, how does he call the game for Jack Cohn? How does he keep him comfortable? How does he get them comfortable enough to take chances and not just try to be, the dreaded term of game manager. Because again, they're going to have to make plays, and they're going to have to make some plays early, because the one thing Notre Dame doesn't want to do is make the same mistake that North Carolina made at Virginia Tech, where they let a Virginia Tech team that was an underdog get up early, get the crowd engaged, and next thing you know, they're playing catch up the entire time and eventually lost. So it's important for Notre Dame to get a good start tonight. We talked about Kyron Williams earlier. Between Kyron Williams and Chris Tyree, they should have plenty of opportunities, not only to touch the ball in the backfield as running backs, but on swing passes and some of the other things that Reese likes to do in the passing game. Those two both could be big factors. And Chris Tyree is going to have to show that he can be a credible backup to Kyron Williams and spell him a bit, so you don't grind Williams down by the end of the year. So don't underestimate Tyree's role on this team. It could end up proving to be a big one. And also one of the other keys tonight, like I said earlier, is the defense making field flipping plays. Look for third down conversions. Does Notre Dame get off the field on third down? If they get off the field on third down, they're going to take an early lead. If they are forcing Florida State into those early 3 and outs, they're going to get off to a good start. So that is my keys for tonight's game with Notre Dame and Florida State. I really don't like giving predictions. I will give up predictions with scores tonight. I think Notre Dame ends up winning tonight on the road, gets a good start off to the season. Final score, I believe Notre Dame wins 31-20.